Hello everyone, so in today's video we're going to go over everything you need to know before your trip to New Orleans. So we're going to go over some hotels, food options, Bourbon Street and Frenchman Street, also some tips and tricks that you might need to know before you go. We're also going to go over Jackson Square. We're going to go over some of the best bars and drinks to go to, things to do that you may not have known about beforehand. We're going to go over the casino, and also lastly we're going to talk about their Creole Queen boat. So stay tuned and I hope it helps. For hotels, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. We stayed at the Intercontinental, which I believe is an IHG property. I have stayed here before. We did like this hotel overall. I mean, it was pretty clean, nothing too crazy about it great, nothing too crazy about it bad. I would say pretty average, middle of the road, good place to stay, and it was a good price. It was actually cheaper than a lot of the other Hiltons and things like that. So as you can see, I'm kind of going over the room here. So as I talk, if you guys are thinking of going to this hotel, you can kind of get a good overview of it. Overall, there's a lot of options for hotels, so read your reviews, make sure that you're not in a bad, sketchy part of town. We were just past Canal Street. The good thing about this hotel is we walked everywhere. It was a great location, pretty close to Bourbon Street, pretty close to everything. This room also did have a loaded fridge, like minibar fridge, which I thought was pretty cool. Also downstairs in this hotel, you're gonna find 2 restaurants with 2 bars. And we gave the bars a couple shots, but we never ate there. But it was a really nice lobby area, and overall, we did like this hotel. Now on to everyone's favorite topic, food. So we're just gonna go over all the places that we went, show you what we got, and give you an overall rating if it's a hit or a miss. So first we're starting at Dominica, which I read really good reviews about. It's a Italian restaurant and it was slammed when we got there, so definitely make reservations. They weren't even taking walk-ins. They had a decent sized menu. It was mostly pastas and pizzas and some appetizers. So to start, we actually got an arugula salad and their meatballs, which were both fantastic. Then we got 2 different pastas and a pizza. So we were just gonna do 2 pastas, but we saw so many people that ordered a pizza, we just had to try it. So at this restaurant, you can actually get a small portion or a large portion of the pasta. So we did 2 small portions, which I would say are regular portions. And then we also did a pizza. The pizza, we are not big pizza people, was to die for. It was melt in your mouth, probably the best pizza I've ever had in my life, hands down. The pastas were fantastic as well. So overall, this was probably our favorite restaurant that we went to. Funny enough, it was the first one we went to, but I would definitely recommend Dominica. Here's the price point added. I'll put that here at the end for you. And overall, fantastic place to go. Alrighty, so the next place we went to was Criolo for their jazz brunch. So they actually had live jazz music playing while you were in there. It was really nice, really added to the atmosphere. So here is the menu. They had a lot of options, so I was pretty excited to go here. To start, Carson got the crab beignets, which look a lot more like hush puppies, but he said they were absolutely fantastic. I got the avocado toast just to try it, and I would say probably 9 out of 10. It was really good. I love the balsamic glaze on it. Then I got the steak and eggs cooked medium, and it was cooked perfect with cheesy eggs. And honestly, there was a really high-end cheese that they used, so I really liked mine. Carson got the chicken sandwich, which he said he did like, but it wasn't the best option, and he probably should have went with what I got, which he does all the time. And then they actually bring out this little dessert. Well, you don't even have to ask them. It's like a lemon tart kind of thing. I'm not a big lemon dessert girl, so Carson tried it, but he did say it was good. I got a mimosa and a water, and it was a really nice atmosphere. I would think overall I would come back again. The jazz brunch really makes it unique, and it's a very upscale restaurant, so you feel very classy when you're in there. Here is the price point at the end, and overall I would also recommend Criolo. So for dinner number 2, we were supposed to go to the Mag, or it's called the Hall on Mag, and we got there and it was closed. Their website said they were open. It actually let me make a reservation to go. It said on maps it was open, so not sure what happened there. Pretty upsetting, so kind of have to shame on them on that one, so wouldn't recommend that just because the hours might not be accurate. And funny enough, they actually forgot to lock their back door. So Carson actually opened the door to the restaurant and they forgot to lock it. So I wouldn't recommend going here. If you do, let me know how it is in the comments. I've wanted to go, but fortunately they were closed. Luckily, right around the corner was an Italian place called Sofia, and I actually was thinking of going here anyway, so I was pretty excited. We got really lucky. We got a spot at the bar, which they call, I think, like the chef's viewing table, because they're actually making food right behind the bar that you can sit and watch. And here is the menu. It's a lot of pastas and pizzas again, very Italian. We started with the olives. I would not recommend getting them. They were kind of flavorless and just not very much to go home about. But we also did get the ricotta dip, and that was absolutely amazing. It came with homemade focaccia bread that we saw him making in the back, and it was absolutely fantastic. So for dinner, Carson got a mushroom pizza with prosciutto on top. He added that. And then I got the pasta alla vodka, and I added grilled chicken to it. Again, we're not the biggest pizza people, but we didn't know we were gonna be having Italian 2 nights in a row. But my pasta alla vodka definitely has a little bit of spice, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I would definitely go back and get that again. Carson with the pizza, he said it was okay. It was good. It didn't top the nights before, and I don't think he wanted pizza twice in a row, so opinion swayed a little bit there, but overall, my pasta was great, and his pizza was good, but not great. And a little fun fact, if you watch him in the back, you can watch him hand making all the pizzas. So personally, I would definitely go back. I really enjoyed it. However, Carson thought it was good, just not that great. So for me, I would definitely recommend it. For him, I think, so-so. Alrighty, so the next morning we actually went to a new place. It's called the Peacock Room. I saw the reviews were really good, but again, it's newer, so there wasn't a ton of reviews. However, it did turn out being a hit for us for sure. So as you can see in here, it's really pretty, it's eclectic, it's lots of blues and peacocks everywhere. So here is their brunch menu. Definitely a little bit on the smaller side, but I feel like everything they did was really well. So you have some starters, some sides, some mains, and a desserts. To start, Carson got the sticky toffee bun, and it was amazing actually. I'm not a big sugar girl, but it was soft and sweet and just fantastic. I think it had pecans on top. It was amazing. And then for our food, I did a BLT with a side salad of arugula, and I also tried their grits, and Carson got the peacock burger. Also, I did get a mimosa, and Carson got a coffee with a shot of Bailey's. So my BLT was amazing. As you could see, it was huge. I did actually change the tomato jam for an actual tomato, so I did do that. But overall, it was amazing. I really enjoyed mine. The side salad was really refreshing, and the grits were fantastic as well. Carson got their peacock burger, but added an egg to it. Honestly, on the reviews, everyone got this burger and said it was amazing. And turns out they were right. It was fantastic. He loved it. Soft bun, amazing. The french fries actually were really good too, but we filled up on everything else, so we didn't really eat them. But overall, the meal was fantastic. So here is the bill, so you can kind of see the price. We thought the price was really fair compared to other restaurants that we had been to. And personally, it may have been our favorite meal in New Orleans, as crazy as that was. It was fantastic. So I would definitely recommend coming here. They're new. Go give them a shot. Also, a little side tip. You can see me putting my food in a box here. The homeless population is really bad in New Orleans. So always bring your leftovers, and you can always give it to someone who's hungry in the streets. We did that every single night or any day with our leftovers. So just a little side tip. And I will make this one quick, but we did try one of their Lucky Dog hot dogs that they have all along the streets. Short story, I hated it. They boiled them, they were gross. I would not recommend. Carson said it was all right, but I would give it a negative 2 out of 10. All right, now on to Orlins Grapevine, which is a wine bar and bistro. We actually sat outside in their back patio, which was really pretty. They had heaters, it was right next to a fountain. So here is their menu. They have a lot of different options. It seemed a little bit classier. To start, we tried their soup of the day, which was a homemade tomato soup, just a cup of it. And then I tried their Caesar salad, which was pretty good. I had these like Parmesan crusts. And then Carson tried their scallops, and it came on like a bed of sweet rice that also had hints of pecan. He really enjoyed the scallops. Alrighty, and for our entrees, we ordered a filet that had like, I want to say a blue cheese sauce to it with some veggies and potatoes. And then Carson got their special, and it was prime rib with a twice baked potato. This is where everything kind of just went south for us. If you want the whole story, I'll try to keep it short here for you. Go check out our other videos. Basically, at the end of the day, all the cooks were wrong. He asked for medium rare, and it was pretty much well done. I asked for medium, and it was pretty much rare. Sent it back, still was wrong. Potato was awful. So really bad experience on the entrees. So here was the bill. We do not recommend this restaurant. It started off really strong. Oh, I forgot to mention they brought out bread with this pesto butter. It was so amazing. All the appetizers were great, but it was such a failure for the entrees that I would not recommend. This is a skip. And to wrap up the food section, I'm going to go over 3 last restaurants, just make it quick. We tried the pho that was in the casino, and honestly, it was really, really good. I would totally recommend it, as funny as that is, and it was a bargain. I don't remember the bill, but it was really, really good. And then another place was the French Market. It's an open-air market, and they have lots of little food vendors. Carson tried just 2 local items, I think like crab balls and crawfish mac and cheese. He said it was average at best and nothing really crazy. And then lastly, we went to a place called Ernest Cafe. kind of last minute, and it was actually very bad as well. He got a po' boy, I got wings that were average, but the po' boy was pretty bad, and then a cockroach did crawl on our table. So I would give Ernest Cafe definitely also a no-go. All right, and now on to the good old Bourbon Street. I feel like everyone's heard of it. It's Party Central in NOLA. It is the main street. It's where all the bars are, the clubs are. There's food, there's all types of stuff. Where to even begin with Bourbon Street? Well, there's a ton of street performers day and night, and they're really awesome to watch. They play for tips, so get in some of that. It's really fun to listen to the music or the dancing or the magicians. I mean, they have it all. Also, this is where all your main bars are going to be, and the bars can be crazy, loud, not loud, live music, kind of gets everything when you're there. Also, these bars do have balconies. You can go upstairs to the balconies and you could throw off things like beads or just take in, the entire street. Now, when it does come to the beads, people are throwing beads pretty much year round. It's not just Mardi Gras. And yes, if you know what you're supposed to do to get a bead, that can be a thing, but I did get one without doing that, so it is an option to still get a bead. But it's pretty crazy when it comes to that. There's also some shopping that is along down Bourbon Street. And then there's also lots of restaurants, but mostly right around there, it's gonna be your oyster restaurants that had crazy, crazy long lines. So we didn't give that a shot, but everyone was waiting for it, so it was probably good. Overall, the streets are crowded with people. I mean, if you don't like crowds, I would avoid Bourbon Street. It is a party. Again, New Orleans, I don't think I touched on this, is open container. So the street is basically just like one big bar. So everyone's walking around with drinks, shoulder to shoulder. Also, there's gonna be policemen on their horses, and the horses are beautiful. If you ask, you are allowed to pet them. So that's really cool to see. And then at the end of our trip, there was actually a fire truck on Bourbon, and they were giving out shirts if you would pay a donation to the firemen. So that was really cool too. So lots to do on Bourbon. Pretty much it's endless. And another popular street is going to be Frenchmen Street. This is more of a local spot, I would say. The locals like to go here. It's more music based. So if you're looking for something a little bit more chill, not as crazy as Bourbon, this is where you want to go. Every place is pretty much playing live music. You got lots of jazz bands. I will tell you, there is going to be more cover charge here because you are watching the bands. Bourbon Street, you really don't ever pay cover. Here you are going to pay cover for the bands. You can't bring in outside drinks, which is also different than Bourbon Street. It's kind of, go in, go out with drinks. Here, you got to buy it at that location and finish it at that location. But overall, if you want something a little bit quieter, a little bit nicer, a little bit older crowd, and more music-based, Frenchmen Street is the place for you to go. All right, so now on to some kind of tips, tricks, and little things we wanted to throw in here. Our first tip is take the pedicabs if you are going longer distances. They're really fun. You get to see the whole city. You're really immersed in it. It's a fun time. Usually the cab drivers are just so well informed and are so fun. We loved taking the pedicabs. Number two, I don't have a video for this one, but there are street scammers. You need to be careful. They'll come up to you with like a hat and basically give you a hat, and then they're gonna tell you that they need the money for the hat that you just took. So be very careful of scammers out on the streets. Another little side note is that most of your restrooms that you're going to find right now in New Orleans are going to be all gender restrooms. A little weird to get used to, but yep, it's pretty much all gender in each bathroom. And a really big reminder, New Orleans streets are not flat, okay? There are potholes everywhere, there are ledges, there are uphills, there are bricks in the road. I mean, it is definitely a little scary to walk there. So I'd recommend wearing flat shoes and just look where you're walking, because we actually saw a girl fall during a ghost tour. We just saw the ghost tour, and she just fell because she wasn't looking at her feet when they were walking around. So wear flat shoes and be very conscious of where you are putting your feet in the streets. Moving on to one of the best parts about New Orleans, it is open container pretty much everywhere. So you can get drinks from your room, you can get drinks to go from restaurants, the streets you can drink in them. So pretty cool tip. So just remember, open container, just no glass. So they have to put it in a plastic cup and you're good to go. And to finish off this section, I'm gonna leave you with a little tip. So you've probably heard of Café du Monde, and they have the very famous beignets in New Orleans. Well, as you can see, this line is crazy, crazy long. They say it's sometimes between 1 to 2 to 3 hours just to get a beignet. So a little trick that we did is actually at the airport, the actual Café du Monde does have a section there, and they are hand making it. You can see it. And Carson has had both before, and he said it was honestly just as great as the actual Café du Monde that's by the French market. So a little tip, if you don't want to wait in line, and if you're flying in and out of NOLA, there is a Café du Monde with the beignets in the airport. All right, and the next area we're gonna talk about is Jackson Square. So this area, there's gonna be a big, beautiful park that's open during the day, and it's right across the street from the church. I forget the name of it, but we did pop in there. It was beautiful. Now, also in this Jackson Square area, there's a lot going on. So you're gonna have even more street performers. You're gonna have a bunch of artists. So all the painting you can imagine is pretty much all around Jackson Square. You can purchase it. You can actually see artists painting. It's a really cool area. And again, a bunch of street performers. At the very end of Jackson Square, there is like pretty much an outside staging area that a lot of times they do big shows and things like that for the street performers. All right, now on to some fun things to do that you may have heard of, you may not have heard of. So the first one, you can see us here, we are at the Carousel Lounge. This bar is actually a moving, working carousel. So you take your seat at the bar and it just slowly turns you as you enjoy a drink. I just thought it was really unique, really eclectic, really cool place to take a picture. It is really busy all the time though, so we didn't get to sit, but I'm sure if you wait for a little bit, people will get up. But I just thought this was really unique and a cool little place to check out while you're here. Another great option is to do this horseback, or I guess horse-drawn carriage ride. It takes you all through the city. There's a couple different options, a couple different groups. The one we did was an hour and a half, but I know there's some that's only 30 minutes. It takes you through the streets of New Orleans, gives you history. The tour guides knew a lot what they were talking about, really cool stories. So we really liked it. Our tour guide even stopped at a bar for us to get a drink halfway through. So it was just a really cool way to see the city and to learn about the history. Also, you will be picking these up in Jackson Square. All right, and this one is probably a little more common, more well-known. We did the hop on, hop off, I think it's Sight City Seeing tour. It's the big bus, you can't miss it. But I think it was a great deal. I mean, you can get off and on whenever you want. It goes to a bunch of stops, or you could just ride the entire thing. It takes about an hour and a half, and you hear a bunch of history and stories, and you see a lot of stuff. We see graveyards, we saw just about everything. So really cool way to see all of the city, and also it's a pretty good deal. I think the two of us, it was like 90 bucks, but it's a good way to see everything. And again, you can hop off, hop on, so it's also your transportation for the day. And then another little fun way to get around could be taking these streetcars. So what we were told is the green ones, like you see here, were the original, and the red ones are the new ones. I believe the green ones don't have AC, but the red ones do. So if you want to take a classic streetcar ride, go ahead and do that. We didn't do it this trip, but we definitely thought about it. So New Orleans is also really famous for Pat O'Brien's, which is the place of the original Hurricane. We didn't try a Hurricane. We're not really big mixed drink people, but overall the ambiance here is beautiful. There's fire pits next to waterfalls, and it's just a stunning location. It's really cool to walk around and relax in. And on top of it, they do have a piano bar, usually a dueling piano bar that plays live music, and it's just such a great time. So if you have a chance, I would check out Pat O'Brien's. And the last thing for the things to do category is going to be going to the French market. So it's really cool. It's an open air, basically like flea market, and it's awesome. It's got a bunch of local foods. It's got like crawfish mac and cheese, all those kind of Louisiana type things. It's got drinks, it's got snacks, and it's got a ton of shopping. So really unique items, really different items. I mean, there's umbrellas, there's shirts, there's glasses, there's chess sets, they have it all. So really fun to take like an hour or two to walk around and just enjoy the French market. All right, and now on to Harrahs Casino that's located here in New Orleans. We didn't get a ton of footage because you can't really record, but we got some shots for you. Overall, it's very big. We really enjoyed it. There are some food options, but all the food options are gonna be like kind of fast food, so don't expect anything nice. There was a really big dance floor we hung out at, a couple different bars. During New Year's, they actually had a whole New Year's parade party going through the entire casino, so that was really cool. But overall, here's a couple shots of it. We really enjoyed it, and we actually came up winning, so that's always a plus. So I'd recommend the casino that they have there. And lastly, for our last quick topic is going to be their Creole Queen, which is their little cruises that they do. So they offer boat tours pretty much all the time. We particularly went on the New Year's one, but they do like a jazz brunch cruise and multiple dinner cruises, lunch cruises. So you just go on the boat for a couple hours, usually get fed, get some drinks, listen to some music. So we went for New Year's, which was so much fun. There were no seats downstairs, and we did get there right at boarding time. Boarding was at 10, it left at 11. I would also not recommend the food. I don't know why, but neither of us liked it. It just overall wasn't very good, but you know, the thought's there. There was a decent amount of food options, just not very good. Now, I will tell you, it was really nice. Although it was fully crowded downstairs for the actual seating areas, there were no lines at bars. The top party area was so much fun. You can see me dancing here. We had such a great time. The view of the fireworks were absolutely incredible. It was just beautiful to get out on the water, dance, have some drinks, no lines, no crazy crowds, anything like that. So I would give it a try, whether it's New Year's or whether it's just a jazz brunch or a dinner. It's nice to get on the water. You can see the shoreline and everything. And overall, I would definitely give the Creole Queen boat rides a try. Alrighty, so that is a wrap for our Everything You Need to Know New Orleans video. So I hope it really helped. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. We try really hard to get good content out for you guys. If you want to see more in-depth videos, go ahead and check out our New Orleans vlogs. We kind of go into deeper detail of everything, show you everything, kind of step by step of the entire trip. Let me know if you have any questions below. We'd love to answer the comments to try to help you guys out before your trip. Overall, thanks so much. We hope it helped, and we'll see you next time.